Hey, I'm Scott with Scotsman Turf Robotics. I'm going to talk to you in this video about 4 factors you can consider when it comes to how you choose, which you choose when it comes to robotic mowers. Okay, so those 4 factors are: is movement impeded? In that, do you have a fence or a wall that the mower needs to get around or through? Do you have blocked signal from trees? Do you need strict containment? In that, do you want the mower to mow right up next to a busy street or along the edge of water? And do you want local versus global control? So those are the 4 factors. The reason we sell basically 3 different kinds of mowers is because we have all 3 of these mowers can satisfy all of those different things depending on what situation you're in. It's just a matter of determining what factors are most important to you. Okay. So the Husqvarna 435 and the 450X, if you need to mow right up next to water, if you have lots of trees, if you have areas that are impeded, such as a fence that you need to get through, then and you want global control, you can go with a 435 or a 450. If you want just local control, if you have open sky or not a lot of trees, it can handle trees pretty well, then you can go with a Mammotion Luba. And then if you need global control and then you have up to 2.5 acres you want to mow and you really don't have a lot of trees that you have to deal with, then you can go with the Husqvarna 450X EPOS. We sell these 3 types of mowers, and really you can see it's 3 types, but it's more than 3 mowers because they can satisfy those conditions. Okay. So, how they do that is with the type of system, the way they're set up. So, the 435 and the 450X, these are wire boundaried systems from Husqvarna. And what we can actually do with those to get them through a fence is Husqvarna actually sells a automatic gate that we actually cut into the gate and mount into the gate, and it actually can come up to the gate. It will sense that the mower's there. It will open up, allow it to go out the gate, mow your front yard, mow your backyard, whatever, and then go back into the other area when it's finished and dock itself. So that gated system allows for traversing those areas. You have strict containment with a wire boundary. If you're along water, you're along a busy street, and you want to go right up to the edge of that busy street, you may want to get a wire boundaried system. And then you don't need open sky, and then you do get global coverage. And what I mean by global coverage is that you get 4G connectivity. If a mower has 4G connectivity, you can see what it's doing from anywhere in the world. Now, if it gets stopped, you can't just start it back up. You have to have somebody who actually to hit the start button in order to start it back, so you can regain control of that mower, because that's a safety feature in case something, it bumps into something, or somebody has stopped it on purpose because maybe kids are playing in the lawn or something like that. But you can see what it's actually doing. You can see if it's actually stopped or if it's actually mowing. You may need local to restart it. But it doesn't have a virtual boundary. Now, what a virtual boundary is for the Luba and for the 450X EPOS, you actually drive these units around the boundary of your area you want it to mow in order to train it to a virtual boundary. And that virtual boundary is what it stays within. You actually train it on the areas you don't want to mow within the virtual boundary. So if you have landscape beds or something like that you don't want it mowing into, then you teach it where those are as well. And then you train it or teach it by guiding it back to its docking station so it knows the path to get back to its docking station. So everything's virtual. Okay, so you need both a GPS signal and you need what's from satellites, and you need what's called an RTK signal. And RTK is going to be the tower that it actually comes with. So you got to have 2 things in order to triangulate its position. You got to have that RTK tower that's there right beside the mower, or mounted on your house, and then you got the satellites as well that it's triangulating off of to create that virtual boundary. Both Mammotion systems and the EPOS systems have those dual connectivity to triangulate off of. The difference between the Luba and the 450 EPOS is the fact that the Luba only has local control. So it's a mower. When you look out at your lawn and you think, I want to mow my yard today, and you go out and you Bluetooth connect to the mower and you say, Luba, mow the grass. You select the areas that you've created virtual boundaries for, the front and the backyard, maybe the side yard, and you tell it to mow. You can open up the gate. It'll traverse in and out the gate, but you have to physically open it. And then it'll go and mow those areas, and then it'll go back to a stocking station. No 4G connectivity, only Bluetooth connectivity. And then for the 450 EPOS, you have 4G connectivity with that, so you can see what's going on the entire time. You know where it's mowing. You know you've set its calendar to start when. You can set calendars for the Mammotion as well. I should say that it's got a calendar feature now, which is great. So you can actually set it to mow when you want it to mow. Okay, so for a lot of people, just to review, so you look at the block signal and strict containment, then you're going with a wire boundaried system, and if you need to traverse in and out of a fence as well, then you're going with a wire boundaried system so you can get auto traversing in and out of the fence. You can't do that with a 450 EPOS, even though they're from the same company. You have to have the wired system to get the auto gate to work. And then if you want local control only, and you've got open sky, then you can get a Luba. And the Luba actually is an all-wheel drive unit. Will climb some good slopes as well. Had it on up to about at least probably about 50-60% slope. That's done pretty well on. And then the Luba may be the way to go. You just walk out and tell it when to mow. And it does handle trees pretty well. So, you have to balance that out. It won't handle the most dense canopies of trees. Of course, you probably can't get grass to grow if it's too dense of a canopy of trees. And then if you want global control to see what it's doing from anywhere, and then you have open sky, then you can go with a 450X EPOS, which actually can mow up to about 2.5 acres. The Luba, the 5,000 Luba, can do up to about an acre and a quarter per day. Okay, so the big question for some people is, well, how much do they cost? And that's a big question. So the first thing to know, you get 2-year warranties on everything, and then you also everything is rated to last up to 5 to 8 years, and it's really based off the battery life is really what I would say is the biggest dependency there. As we know, batteries don't last forever with recharging, and then so if you look at the 435 and the 450X system, you're at about $3,300 up to about $4,000. If you look at the Lubas, you're up about $1,900 to $2,800, and then you're about $5,900 for the 450X EPOS from Husqvarna. So those are the factors to consider. The mowers we're really focused on right now, the ones that are on the market that seem to really satisfy, or at least we know they satisfy a lot of the factors that somebody needs to consider when it comes to which mower do you choose. Need more information? Look us up at scotsmanturfrobotics.com. Email us at info@robot-mowing.com. Look for more videos in the future and subscribe to our channel. Thanks.